Drive our ships to new land, fight the horde, sing and cry, Valhalla, I am coming. Always sleeping, catching up, I only go when these are restless.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night, everyone. This is the Fakeologist Show Monday special, Monday, November the 10th, 2025. This is the day where we do a simulcast with leading auto hoaxologist and resident skeptic, etc., fakeologist, friend, and ally, Tim Ozman of IPS.Monster. Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me. I think we should dedicate this opening song to Charlie Kirk, immigrant song. It says, Valhalla, I'm coming.
Right. That's the immigrant song by Led Zeppelin, if anyone didn't know. I love the song, of course, Led Zeppelin. And yeah, Diana South Howard knows it. Look at the raft. The raft is filling up. We are broadcasting all over the place. I have 3 YouTube channels. Tim Ozman has 1 or 2, and D Lives. We both have D Lives. We both have X accounts. So I have my audio stream at shortfake.com/stream1. And I have to open up the phone lines because this is more of a phone-in show because Tim's phone is not hooked up at the moment. So this is your chance to call in. I'll handle the calls. I don't really have much to talk about. So we let Tim give us all his work for the week. I know he's been extremely productive in the last week with all, well, he's going to tell us what he's been up to for the week.
Yeah, well, the main thing was the UPS crash. So I noticed that the UPS flight number was 2976. And my pattern recognizing monkey brain, which is apparently overactive, is like, wait, that's the 9/11 death toll. And Dick Cheney just died the night before on the anniversary of the One World Trade Tower opening. So I thought there's something 9/11-y about Cheney dying and a plane crashing. So I thought, well, maybe this is some kind of 9/11 themed Viking send-off for Cheney because he's the architect of 9/11. So I kind of started joking, but I was like, wait, it went 175 feet up. Then it hit the ground, flight 175, the second plane. And the more I look into it, the more I'm saying this entire thing is 9/11 coded. By that night, the mayor of New York had been elected and the right wing was calling him a Muslim terrorist. So now you have 9/11 heavily invoked. Giuliani tweets the Twin Towers. So now everyone's talking about 9/11 terrorism. White powder gets sent to somebody. A car blows up in the Bronx, injuring multiple firemen. And then the FAA grounds all these airplanes. So I'm like, wait a minute. We just like lived through or repeated a lot of 9/11 elements since the plane crashed. And it crashed. It hit some telephone poles like 9/11. One of the shots looked like the Pentagon angle where you see it on the low level flight. And then it crashed into buildings. So the whole thing was just pure 9/11 in the wake of Cheney's death. So that's what started last week. And by the way, my tweet has 506,000 impressions, like more than 500,000 impressions on that tweet, comparing the flight number to 9/11. Oh, and the number of deaths by Drudge was like 9 dead, 11 injured. I think they might have changed it since, but that was a Drudge Report headline.
Wow. Yep, sorry. I was trying to bring up your IPS X account, but it woke up the stream. So let me find another way to click on it because
I'm streaming on that, and
I do want to find that.
Our numbers are going to go up because I've been rebooting the 24/7 live stream. I'm filling it up with new content, and I put a QR code to join our Discord. And ever since I've been doing that, we've been picking up a dozen subscribers between Substack, YouTube, and Discord. Pretty much every day. Yep.
Well, hopefully they understand what they're getting into. Okay, so you got a lot of stuff here. What day is it today? Today's the 10th, so it looks like you were busy retweeting. Look at all these things. My
Well, yeah,
goodness.
okay. There are two people who stopped at 30-06 with their necks, basically. Charlie Kirk and Martin Luther King.
Okay. Wow.
I thought that's interesting.
I want to find your super impression.
Oh yeah, I had
tweet.
that one pinned earlier, but let me go ahead and I'll pin it right now, so
Okay,
you'll see it pop
does it
up.
oh, did you unpin it? You can pin to Twitter as well?
Yes, what I tend to pin are my live streams, but
Okay.
okay. So I'm gonna pin that tweet again. It's at 506,000 tweets, and then you'll
Wow.
see the entire thread. You might have to refresh. The entire thread is nothing but 9/11. Oh, is Muhammad Ali Airport. Then you had the Muhammad Ali ISIS terrorist. I mean, you go down the list, and you'll see the entire thing is 9/11 coded. Even the Drudge shot, where they're talking about shutting down the airplanes. You see a plane passing by a flight tower. I mean, everything is so 9/11-y about it.
Oh, great thread here.
Yep, 500,000 hits in less than 2 days.
Is that your most successful one?
It is, and it took me 5 seconds to compose it. Once I saw that number, I was like, "There's something here," and more people than not retweeted me, used this content, and expanded the conversation. I mean, we had a few people saying, "You guys are just noticing coincidences that aren't really there." It's like, all right, that doesn't look like anything to me.
Wow, that's a great one. Zohan wins New York City and a plane crashes. 9 dead, 11 injured. Yeah, I saw that. We talked about that. Oh, I see. You were on Monday, and this happened on Wednesday.
It happened on the basically yeah on the, I noticed the crash happened on the 4th. Cheney died on the 3rd, and then the mayor later that afternoon, after the mayor gets elected, all of a sudden, Twitter explodes with all kinds of 9/11 agitprop. So 9/11 was like force memed out there on that day because of the mayor, not because of the plane crashing, and not because of Dick Cheney. But you see how these all play together. Cheney dies, plane crashes, Muslim mayor. 3 separate things, but they all got merged in the media ecosystem.
And what's your take on the point of all that? Why do they do these things?
I think it had a couple of purposes, and I know this sounds crazy, but I don't. Okay, I think that either Dick Cheney was already dead, he was
Mm-hmm.
on ice, and they
Yeah, nice.
literally cremated him in this thing
Oh wow.
as some kind of tribute, or he's not really dead, because I think this is more psyop than not. And one more point about this plane crash. Guess what happened before the crash? Drills. A drill. It's
Right.
a
Yeah. Drills. Yeah, we
150
talked
mass
about that.
casualty simulators. Yeah,
Oh,
typical, right?
really?
Yep, big drill. So as far as the point of it, like, why are they doing these aircraft emergency training exercises at the Muhammad Ali airport? And then you have this terrorist theme. I think it was about force memeing a lot of 9/11 style agitprop into New York as this mayor takes over. And the timing of it just all seems to me very scripted, but it just seems like it's to reinvigorate this old terror threat, which polarizes everybody left and right. It's always about polarizing the sides. So broadly, that's probably what it is. But I still think it's really unusual that it's all tied into Cheney's death.
Yeah, and he was sort of the guy that they associated with the Bush administration and 9/11. So that's very, very good. I like that.
Yeah, they call him the architect
Okay,
of
let's
9/11.
see. Let's read your see what replies you got here. Okay, they're mostly your replies at the beginning. Let's make sure I'm streaming this. Okay. All the 9/11 vibes. Da-da-da. What do you think this means? You said, given the timing of Dick Cheney's death, I suspected some kind of elaborate 9/11 tribute, Viking funeral, and he was cremated on that plane. Okay. You think there was a plane?
That's the thing. There was a drill. So at any point, they could have constructed this with like the side angles and a lot of the videos that we've seen. those could easily be computer generated. But as far as on the day, was there a plane? You know, you had witnesses, you had smoke. So at a minimum, you would have had fireworks and pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't necessarily have to have been a plane. But it definitely did have smoke that was visible to the general audiences, which wouldn't be that far-fetched considering on the day of the drills they were doing, they were playing with fire.
Yeah, and they could have done the filming then. So that was around November 1st. They did these drills. Let's just see. Da-da-da. Okay. Okay, so here's the key drill. Okay, so here you go. Key drill, a full-scale aircraft emergency disaster exercise, October 21st to 22nd, 2025.
Yeah,
Wow.
drills. And drills are hoax indicators because they would use the drill in order to create content, to close the movie set, and to set everything up. And then you have this 7 people fell ill at Joint Base Andrews because of a package with white powder. So, event after event, as you scroll down this thread, look, FAA shuts down 100 flights or 800 flights, 1,000 plus flights delayed. So, everything about this is just like echoes from 9/11 as Zohan wins New York. And after he won New York, Twitter was just flooded with 9/11 stuff.
Yeah. It says here this drill was part of an annual FAA mandated training for major U.S. airports. So they do this every year. So we could say that you're going to get the possibility of a quote unquote real event at these airports every year. It does make sense. We all agree that drills are probably very sensible. Got to
Oh,
keep
yes.
everyone coordinated.
Well, what I point out, though, is that why is it that the places that do the drills suffer from whatever it is they're practicing to prevent? It's like, oh, we're going to do a drill at the school, and the next week, 50 kids get mowed down. And I'm like, okay, your drill's not working. We're doing a drill for a crashing airplane, and an airplane crashes and burns. So either the drills don't work, or the drills are also serving a dual purpose, which is getting assets into place to run the PSYOP.
Oh, yes, of course. Simulated incident, it says here. A cargo aircraft, quote unquote, crashes on or near runway 9, the same runway used in the real November 4th crash, it says here, igniting a fire with heavy smoke. The scenario included passenger and crew injuries, quote unquote, including mannequins and actors, fuel spills and explosions, simulating cargo related hazards like lithium batteries or chemicals, ground impact on nearby industrial zones akin to Worldport's southern perimeter. So there you go. They basically just tell you.
Yeah, same runway. I mean, come on. It's not even a what are the odds question, because even if you accept that this was a natural occurrence, then you have to consider, if you look at the wider media ecosystem, what an ironic set of coincidences that Cheney dies and a plane crashes, hits a building, very Pentagon-y, and this is followed by New York, not only the Muslim mayor and the right-wing rhetoric about how he's basically a terrorist or he's Osama bin Laden, but then you have a car explodes in New York, injuring 5 New York firefighters. You have all these grounded planes, and then you have this white powder going around. So if you look at the bigger picture here, it's like, wait a minute. It's like after Cheney died, we just had a couple of days of 9/11 like phenomenon just immediately following. And if you looked at the buzz in social media, all their talk about 9/11 had nothing to do with the plane crash or Cheney. It was about that mayor. So we're looking at this from a wider perspective, and we're seeing how the plane crash, the mayor, Cheney's death are all interconnected. And then you throw in the element of the drill, and it kind of seals it to me as this is a concerted release of propaganda.
Yeah, I don't see well, I see a little bit of skepticism in your Twitter thread here, but overall, here we go. Medieval tower in Rome partially collapses during renovations. Okay.
Yeah, I thought about that because America has been represented, New York specifically, as Babylon or Rome. In Francis Ford Coppola's movie, which is kind of based on 9/11, although it was produced during 9/11, but it was Make Rome Great Again. So when I see this tower in Rome collapsing, I thought that's probably noteworthy. Muhammad Ali Airport. And then you had this terrorist named Muhammad Ali who had a ISIS inspired attack, who was
Right.
planning something. So I'm like, okay, Muhammad Ali Airport. I mean, and then the lead hijacker of 9/11 was Muhammad Atta.
All
And then
right.
again, 175 feet up, Flight 175 was the one that hit the second tower.
Yes.
So there's too many overlapping coincidences. And then you throw on the 9 dead, 11 injured. And it's just like, to me, I'm like, okay, then following this, we see all these planes being grounded. And I thought, okay, this is all somehow interrelated.
November 6th, the mayor of Louisville said at 3:32, Metro 911 lines are currently experiencing technical problems. There you go.
Yes.
All kinds of stuff in this thread. Well, that's a good one. Okay, getting a couple trolls calling the thread writer schizophrenic. Oh, that was a good one. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, the best they can do is call you a tinfoil hatter, or they'll say it's just you're noticing too many coincidences. But at this point, there are so many piled on that I think that the level of suspiciousness should go up a little bit. And I'm surprised that some people can just look at this wide array of interrelated narratives that all tell the same story from all these different angles. And they can just say, just a coincidence. I'm like, that sounds like I coined a term, Westworld syndrome. In Westworld, when one of the programmed synths in the Western sees something modern or something out of context that doesn't make sense, that might contradict their worldview, they have this programming line where they say, that doesn't look like anything to me. So when I see somebody look at what we present and not even confront it, but just ignore it, I'm like, they're saying, that doesn't look like anything to me. That's Westworld syndrome.
Okay. Well, should we talk about the Tucker Carlson's demon story? I've never heard that. So, did you have to search that one out, or was that promoted today or yesterday?
Well, I've been talking about it since he first said it a couple of years ago, and nobody called him out. I'm like, show us your scars, because he claims, first of all, he said aliens are demons. His Pentagon buddy told him that the demons or aliens have made deals with the Democrats. So he was already talking about aliens being demons. And this was in addition to his regular xenophobia. Now he's against extraterrestrial aliens, not just the terrestrial ones. And then he claims in the middle of the night, he was attacked by a demon in his bed and it left bloody scars down his back, just blood dripping down his back.
Oh, I
And I
remember
thought
that
that's
one.
weird because he sleeps with 4 giant dogs and his wife.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
remember
like, show
that
us your
one.
scars. And he never showed his scars, but now he's doubling down on the story. So to me, it sounds like, okay, obviously he's not dumb. Obviously he knows this isn't true. So he is 100%, if you ask me, I think that these are like ideas that are tested before they're like Candace Owens is saying the same thing. She said, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and Sam Altman are cyborgs who don't bleed and are summoning demons by sacrificing children. So they're saying stuff that really panders to the real fringe Q stuff and the religious people. And I think this is intentional because they know it's going to actually resonate with a lot of people. So we can laugh at Tucker saying that he's been attacked by demons and he never shows evidence, but a lot of people actually believe it. I got a guy in chat right now who's mad at me because I don't talk about demons enough. And I'm like, sorry, but we're doing an objective analysis of mainstream media. We're not getting into like spiritualism here. But what Tucker Carlson is doing is he's taking advantage of people's desire to believe in supernatural things.
Hmm. You want to play a clip of this?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, definitely. Okay, Esteban is going to have to go.
Is he in your chat?
Yeah, he called me a word for a body part.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't have his video of a supernatural realm, and I'm not willing to share it or something. Like, no, I'm not here to platform that kind
I
of
think
stuff.
he's in my chat.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, look, I'm here for the off-world stage perspective. If you have a religious agenda, whether you're a Christian or whatever, we just can't platform it because these are separate categories. You know, we don't make the same evidentiary demands of religious claims that we do of media claims. And so I think we don't need to mix these things up. So if he's mad at me over it, it's okay. You know,
Yeah, Kevin, you can call in. Just let the phone ring. We were playing a clip. So let the phone ring. It's fine. I'll answer it. Just take it easy. You guys can't hear the clip?
yeah, I'm checking now. I can't hear it. No one in the chat hears it yet. If you want to play it again.
Okay, that's funny. Okay, sorry about that. I'm playing the clip, so you couldn't hear it either. Okay, one moment. Sorry about that. I guess something happened to my sound settings. Everything looks okay. I'll just put it in another browser or something.
Hopefully Esteban doesn't show up and shoot me in the neck. People aren't really into disagreement these days. They can't handle it. I don't want to get kirked.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay. But I'll let me play this in another browser. I'm not sure why it's not playing. You guys heard the immigrant song, so you should hear this here. Do-do-do-do. One moment. Let's see.
They've always been here. And I do think it's spiritual.
Can you articulate it?
The belief that supernatural beings take physical form. They all believe that. The Greek myths, Jesus, most famously. But that they take physical form, that they're not just like some ethereal, they're not just shadows floating around, specters, fog.
Hold
They're
time,
physical.
19 seconds.
They're as real as the arm of your chair. And that they reproduce with people. Again, Christianity believes that. Jesus, immaculate conception, spirit reproduces with human woman. That's what the story is.
Yeah, no, I was on February 20th, 2023. I was attacked in my bed by a spiritual being.
Physically mauled. In a spiritual attack by a demon? Yeah, by a demon.
And so I talked to a lot of people, and I was really shocked by what credible people told me.
Okay, go ahead, Kevin. I think you're on the line.
Yeah, what's up? You know what happened? Tucker was out running around. Some girl attacked him. They had a good night, and that's what he told his wife.
Okay.
He never got attacked by no demon.
What about his dog?
His dog? Yeah. They're the ones that he gives bacon and bologna to so they don't bark when he comes home. You know what I mean? Nobody gets woke up, sneak back in bed.
Oh, I see.
You know what? It's more likely that he was scratched by a mistress than by aliens, and he used that excuse on his wife.
Yes.
Or
That's
maybe he's
saying.
just making it all up to make people like him look crazy that talk about the stuff we do, sort of.
Oh, and let me correct him on one thing. He said, of course, supernatural beings take physical form and mate with humans. Immaculate conception, Jesus. No, the Immaculate Conception means that the Virgin Mary was born without the taint of original sin. Jesus was not the Immaculate Conception. That's not really the same thing.
Okay.
So Tucker Carlson, I don't know if he's really like I think these guys are performative Christians. It's a different denomination. Candace Owens and Tucker would both, and Russell Brand, I would consider these individuals to be, as far as their denomination, performative Christians.
Hey, Mr. Ozman, I have something to say about that. Yeah, he's not a Christian at all. He wears I think I brought it up maybe a couple episodes. I came on when you were on, and he wears a red string Kabbalah bracelet, which is not something any Christian would do. And I think, yeah, you brought up Candace Owens. I think they're part of this psyop to try to steer religious people into a certain direction. Because yeah, she's supposedly Catholic, and I'm not buying that. You know, she's another complete phony. But
yeah, she's the other one. She said, quote, demons are real, quote. And she talked about how Peter Thiel, Musk, and Sam Altman are cyborgs who might not believe you stabbed him. And she said that they sacrificed children to summon demons to put into AI. So Grok is basically a demon that was fed on the blood of children. So Candace Owens and Tucker are both pushing the same propaganda lines. And I've noted that the further right you go, the more they get into this literal good versus evil QAnon adjacent stuff.
yeah, and I think they go after well-meaning religious people that, you know, I mean, I myself am a Catholic. I believe in demons and stuff like that. But when I see these world stage actors come on and they're such obvious cutouts. Like I've always hated Tucker Carlson because he's just ever since he was an Iraq war shill, and then he was saying anyone that questions 9/11 is a parasite. I mean, he's everything you learn about this guy. There's nothing authentic about him.
Yeah, he's no good. He's no good. I agree
And
with you.
Candace Owens too. She's like it's almost like Alex Jones. Like they put him out there to make people that question things look crazy, and then they make an. I think you guys are right predicting that they're going to make an example out of her with this court case coming up, which is probably all, you know, staged world theater.
They are all CIA funded, every one of them. Tucker, Candace. Yeah, Candace might take a knee like Alex Jones because he's one of them too. It's like Joe Rogan. Notice how she took over Joe Rogan's show, like the podcast #1 in the world, over Joe Rogan. Candace Owens. She has to take a knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's big right now, and it's not because she's telling the truth. She's not a sleuth. She's not like Sherlock Holmes, like investigating crime scenes and stuff, but she's actually just a propagandist. I've been describing Candace Owens' propaganda narratives as a well-paved rabbit trail, and it's basically a template from JFK. And if you listen to them, you can see how it actually mirrors the same thing. And the purpose of it, I think, is this. After the JFK, they created the whole conspiracy culture. They coined the term conspiracy theorist. And so they could control that opposition. And I think with the CK thing and Candace Owens, I think they're essentially rebooting the whole program again. So you have a new generation of conspiracy theorists under one big tent.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, there's no way too that somebody who says the kind of stuff she says would have access to a YouTube audience the size it is. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, relatedly, Marjorie Taylor Greene was just on Bill Maher, and she said that aliens are demons and fallen angels. So again, I'm just pointing out that it's not the neocon right, the woke right believes in demons. And the woke right believes that aliens are demons, AI is demons. And I point this out because the whole red pill and QAnon ideology is actually being marketed to by that fringe, the woke right fringe. And we can see it with Candace Owens, how she's kind of co-opted that audience. She's got David Icke's audience eating breadcrumbs out of the palm of her hand.
Hey, if you want to tie in Candace to like JFK and Charlie Kirk, she got assassinated from what was it, Daily Caller. They fired her, and then all of a sudden she rose to the top.
Just like
that's
Tucker
that thing
getting kicked off Fox. They both get kicked off their networks because they're going rogue. And so then they have street cred.
Yep.
Like, oh, we can trust Tucker because he got off Fox News. We can trust Candace because she wouldn't kowtow to Ben Shapiro. The fact of it is, this is just controlled opposition putting on a disguise, going deep cover.
Yeah, they get, like you said, street cred, or how do you pronounce that? Bona fides or bona fides? I'm not sure the proper pronunciation, but
yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing. Same thing they did with like Timothy Leary back in the '60s. Like, oh man, he got kicked out of Harvard, and meanwhile the guy was a spook the entire time. pushing that whole manufactured counterculture agenda. And then years later, they have Jordan Peterson, the same thing, right? Like I think he literally had the same position. And they're trying to censor him. Meanwhile, he's the most promoted guy on the YouTube algorithm at the time.
Yeah, that's true. If you're acknowledged on the world stage, you're not being censored. Alex Jones was never censored. What they do is they simply do not acknowledge you if what you say is really disruptive. So I'm not censored. Our perspective isn't censored. It's just not acknowledged. And there's kind of two different things. Their censorship is all performative. It's actually promotion.
Hey, does anybody know when they're going to turn the food stamps back on? Are they like throwing a red herring? Oh, the government's going to open up, but it might be a week. Are they just pushing anxiety right now, or what?
Is that still a thing going on down there?
I looked into it. I think it's mostly just rhetoric because it's mostly just a psyop because you got Trump with his lavish parties, Caligula, golden toilets, revamped Lincoln's bathroom, building stuff up on basically they have these like lobster. You look at the Mar-a-Lago dinners and stuff. So they're flaunting their wealth. At the same time, they're cutting food stamps for 42 million people. So I'm thinking,
correct, but you got to think they made Trump the bad guy last time because didn't he push the jabby jab? You know what I'm saying? He don't care to be the bad guy.
Well, and let me add this too, because we mentioned No Kings protest the same time that the crown jewels were stolen, and on Netflix there was a TV show called Lupin on Netflix where at the same time that the crown jewels were stolen during the No Kings protests, the necklace of Marie Antoinette was stolen in the Netflix show. Well, she lost her head in a No Kings protest. Well, she's the one who said, let them eat cake. And what's funny is Donald Trump was on the cover of Drudge as Marie Antoinette just yesterday, and it said, let them eat steak.
Time 33.
Let them eat steak. You get it? So the No Kings, Marie Antoinette, we called it out as connected.
Okay, we got another call on the line, Kevin. So thanks for calling in. There goes Kevin. Next caller. Where are you calling from and what's your name?
I'm calling from the south shore of the St. Lawrence Seaway. It's John the Beggar.
Hi, John.
How you guys doing?
Oh, great.
Well, hey, when he said food stamps, I've been hearing so many rumors, and I hear now they're back on again. But tomorrow I will find out for sure. I will attempt to use my bridge card, SNAP benefits, and see if it's on or not, so we can settle that.
Someone in the chat said, Jennifer says she got her SNAP restored in Massachusetts. So there's that.
Okay, so I got half a feeling it'll be on tomorrow, whether it's for the full amount or what, I don't know, but I will let you know as to what happened. But another thing, too, what Tim Ozman was saying, did Dick Cheney die? I had that question already written down because I thought, is he really dead or did he die a month ago? You never really know. Because no one knew him personally and went to a funeral and touched the body. And that's what I do. As Thomas said, I have to stick my finger in his hands and his side to see if he really rose from the dead.
Let me ask you this.
I like to see.
Okay, so if the plane crash was part of a psyop, well, they couldn't have planned on him dying. So either he was already dead and he was on ice, or he's not dead yet. But the script had him exiting the world stage on November the 3rd, which is the day of the World Trade Tower opening that replaced the twins.
Definitely.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, in Tucker, Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, they're all CIA spooks. They're not real people. And if they're really interested in that demons and other stuff, they should listen to Gary Wayne. He has a lot of podcasts on that, and Jay Dyer explores that a little sometimes too. He says if they're real, and I would say the same thing, they would be demonic. I don't think that those space aliens are real. I think there may be some military intelligence agent dressed up in a latex mask and stuff. That could be possible. And I don't doubt that all those UFOs, that they're nothing more than military aircraft, experimental.
Well, Tucker just made the news for saying that we got our nuclear technology from demons, alien demons. That's Tucker's new talking point. So nukes are demonic from demons, literally.
Well, like I say, if anyone is interested in that angle, listen to Gary Wayne, and sometimes Jay Dyer has a little bit of a going into that, but not much. But there's a lot of people pushing that, and there's a lot of YouTube channels about that type of thought on that. But I think they're by and large just nothing more than military craft, and I'm sure the Russians have them. So do the Chinese, the Israelis, the French, the British. I'm sure they all have them. That's why there's sightings reported of them in their countries. And I have no doubt about this at all. There have been some people over the years that have publicly claimed they saw these crafts flying into military bases. And I have no doubt of that.
Well, I have doubts for one reason. I live down the street from Kirtland Air Force Base, and there was a conspiracy theorist here in town like 30 or 40 years ago who was watching aircraft at all hours of the night. He reported UFO activity at this Air Force base here. So the Air Force special agents went into his life. They infiltrated, and they gave him all kinds of disinfo. And he pretty much started the whole alien abduction, underground alien base conspiracy theories based on what he was fed by special operatives from the Air Force who were giving him disinformation. And they said they were doing it so that he wouldn't report on classified craft. But my point is, a lot of the UFO stuff is actually created by the Air Force itself. The Pentagon has admitted as much in order to conceal or to basically discredit eyewitnesses.
Definitely, and I can see where they would infiltrate a person's life or anything else. They have no compulsions about doing that, and they'll feed you disinformation all day long. They'll feed it to you like you do a slop to a pig. And they're like that. They don't care about the public, and they try to deceive you. Everything's a deception, really.
That's true. All right, John the Beggar, we got another caller on the line, so thank you for calling.
John the Beggar.
Okay. See you later, guys. Bye.
Take care. There goes John the Beggar from the South Shore. Next caller, where are you calling from? What's your name? Go ahead, next
John
caller.
from beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria.
JohnLeBon.com. Hello.
Hey, good show so far. I think this is blockbuster viewing. Does anybody know of a better weekly show in this corner of the internet? I don't know of one.
Me neither.
No, I don't think so.
Anyway, I've got a question for you. So regarding this Dick Cheney death, so I heard earlier you say that either he was already dead and he was on ice, or he's not really dead. Is it also possible that he did die when they reported he died, and it just seems like too much of a coincidence to us because we followed the 9/11 stuff, that maybe he just did die on this particular date that they said?
Well, if true, I mean, that's the mainstream contention that, yeah, he died on that day. And it's just an ironic coincidence that the next day a plane crashes in a spectacular 9/11-y way, not to mention the code, the other coincidences, but also that it's followed by a Muslim mayor who's a very controversial figure taking over New York. And this gets the right wing, starting with Giuliani, spamming Twitter with, "We forgot 9/11. Now it's come back to haunt us." So people are pointing out, oh, the irony. Dick Cheney dies, plane crashes into a building, and a Muslim mayor takes over New York. And then this is followed by the FAA grounding 1,000 flights. 7 people at an Air Force base get hit by white powder. A car explodes in New York, burning 5 New York firemen. So when you go down and you look at all these things that happen seemingly at once, it's like a concerted message just blasts from the moment Cheney dies on the anniversary of the opening of the One World Trade Tower, which replaced the twins. And look at that picture on the screen. Tell me that's not reminiscent of 9/11.
Oh, that one there. Yeah. They said almost 5,000 flights were canceled. So when's Thanksgiving? Is it 2 weeks or 1 week this Thursday, or 2 weeks this Thursday?
2 weeks. But real quick, just to answer John LeBon. So my contention here is that if this thing was staged, as I would contend, I don't think you could have planned for Dick Cheney to have died with that level of specificity. So if Dick Cheney's death was part of the story, then there's no reason to think that he died that day. It's more likely he was already dead or he's still alive somewhere.
Okay. I go with already dead.
All right, then.
But I'm not really too...
All right, then. Fair enough. So I found something. Maybe you guys have already seen this, but you know how it was Muhammad Ali Airport?
Yes.
I looked into when did they rename it,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you guys already knew this, but maybe you didn't. It was January 16 of 2019. So January 16, you can read that as a 116, which if you flip it around, looks like a 9/11. And that's according to Google. That's when they renamed it.
That's good. That's exactly the kind of thing we would expect. And they compared this to this 1976 crash, flight AA191. So that's the kind of thing where I'm saying it seems entirely scripted. And then you have the Dearborn, Michigan ISIS terrorist named Muhammad Ali, lead hijacker Muhammad Atta. So again, just another piece of the puzzle from the perspective that this thing was orchestrated. This is what it would look like.
Yeah, and this is why I like the work that you do, because you find a lot of these connections that, I don't know, maybe Calcified Lies does good work, but basically the IPS think tank and Calcified Lies, I would say, are right at the front of just finding all of these connections. And even though I don't agree with your final conclusion about it, it is excellent work. And I've got one more question for you, then I will take off. So with this Tucker Carlson, you say that he's appealing to people who they want the supernatural explanation. Is it also possible some people are appealing to the people who want the conspiracy explanation, like the idea of a grand plot? Because I think there are some people who want that. They want to believe there are people doing all of this. Does the predictive programming framework kind of appeal to that mindset, the same way that Carlson applies to the supernatural desires?
Well, it's not that I want predictive programming to be true. It's that it's objectively observable. Whereas Tucker Carlson has zero evidence, nor does anybody else, for demons. So he's appealing to believers. I'm appealing to seekers of information. Seekers and believers are two different categories. One group's already made up their mind, zero evidence. The other group is investigating the available evidence and trying to arrive at the most accurate model to explain it. So I think they're actually different. And I think with the observation of concurrent programming, I think the idea of predictive programming being cherry picking or selectivity bias can be ruled out, because the stuff that's released the same day with specificity also implies pre-planning, because these movies take time to make. So it's this coordination that we're consistently remarking upon. And this is observable and documentable, but you can't find, I mean, if Tucker Carlson showed me the scars on his back, but he hasn't. So we have no evidence for the supernatural. I'm not referring to the supernatural.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I support the Infinite Plane Society on Patreon. If Ab the Fakeologist had a Patreon, I'd support him too. You guys are doing good work, and I hope your listeners support what you're doing, even if sometimes we disagree on the conclusions. So thank you for taking the call.
I do have
I
a
look forward to your
Patreon,
first
but
show as
thank
well.
you, John.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you for reminding everyone. I do have a Patreon. There goes JohnTheBond.com.
Well, hey, Tim Ozman, though, you don't think he's a sincere Christian, though, right?
No, it's all performative. I don't think he's sincere.
Okay.
In fact, I've read some of his tweets. If you read his tweets that were leaked after J6, he's not even real MAGA. He's pretending to be, he's like, that's where he wears like flannel and he goes fishing, and then some live streamer catches him fishing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of John Kerry going into a Walmart. He's like, where can I get me a hunting license?
Yeah, his clothes are too clean to be an actual outdoorsman, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that point I brought up, though, about him wearing the Kabbalah bracelet, I mean, that kind of says he's into something else, right? I mean, I think you said you have a background and you understand masonry and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of overlaps with that, no?
It seems a little unusual. He claims that his dad gave it to him, his CIA dad, and that it has to do with whatever news agency. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not very familiar with it, other than I saw it popularized. Certain celebrities like Madonna got into Kabbalah. So it could very well be that they're all initiated into some cult. It wouldn't shock me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma, I mean, he references the Kabbalah a lot. So I know there's a lot of overlap with Freemasonry. And Yeah, that site I had linked, there's other pages on there where they show like everybody around Donald Trump wearing that thing. Like, of course, we all know about Paris Hilton or whoever, like the celebrities, but that's what makes me wonder, especially these people being put out there as like the heads of this Christian nationalist psyop. Like,
Well,
they're
it should be
definitely
pointed
not
out
sincere.
that this Kabbalah stuff, like the Tree of Life and the Kabbalistic mysticism, is really the DNA of Western occultism, including the OTO, the Order Templar Orientis. So it's actually baked in to this pagan paradigm that Jack Parsons represented here when he mixed in with the Scientology guy, L. Ron Hubbard, where they, at that point, you could really see the formation of this worldview is simply the old pagan mystery Babylon mixed with, through syncretism, like science fiction.
Mhm.
But we have this new paradigm, and yeah, the Kabbalistic paradigm is at the middle of it, this tree of life thing, which is really a metaphysical model. So yeah, it's certainly encoded into it, and we see it in the symbolism. We see it quite often. So I don't know for sure, but the red bracelet thing would be a tell. And if it wasn't visible to us, I mean, the fact that it is visible to us means that it's meant to be viewed by, I think, they're flaunting it.
Seconds.
Right.
Okay, well, wait, we got another caller in. Where are you? Who are you, and where are you calling from?
Hey, Fakeologist, it's Jay from Texas. Hey, Tim Ozman.
Jay from Texas.
How
Hello.
you doing? Yeah, I saw your title was Tucker Carlson. I just want you to know that he was the main one who was like, anybody who doesn't believe the main story of 9/11 is a, what did he call it? A
Parasite.
Parasites.
Yeah. There you go. And that's why he didn't like the grouping of Ron Paul, because Jesse Ventura was saying it was an inside job and saying so.
Oh,
Let's just
right.
like,
yeah.
that's just crazy how people are like, I don't know if it's just a lack of memory or purposely forgetting to always push the narrative all along. I don't know what it is, but it's amazing how they can just fall back into the thing, and they could have like a whole new army of people back before. It's just interesting, I don't know. What do you think, Tim? Like, do you think that people will find out about him? Do you think he's gonna be like they're trying to be the leaders of the movement?
I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
I have a hope that people will realize, or what we just realized, and what I just told you, like, he was the main one going against the narrative that we all talk about, and now apparently he's the tip of the spear fighting against it. Come on now, people can't just believe people. I don't believe that he has the following that they say he does.
Yeah, I was thinking about
believe.
this the other day. It's like we used to have all these big street protests. We had these big street protests in 2020, and ever since there've been numerous outrages, and we haven't seen the numbers. And I'm wondering, are they replacing street mobs as the steam valve for the angry public with online activity and bots?
Well, yeah, because the street protests, especially Black Lives Matter, that was a good way to hide all the like remember how, because COVID was fake just to because it was already going bad anyways, and the businesses closed, so you could have insurance fraud tied in with all these. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they could break things and say, "Oh, it was the rioters," and then it's just another narrative to crack down on the population. It's the that Hegelian dialect thing, because that whole protesting was just all fake, and you can just tell because in one block there would be the protesters, and then in another block there would be people who were stealing right next to and they won't even do nothing. So you could tell that was all fake. That was all fake and manipulated, and just hiding the fact that it was really hiding the devaluation of the currency, because remember they gave an excuse. Oh, that's why your prices are going up, because you have to shut everything down and everything. And it was just another way to give you a narrative of why something's expensive. Just like this Tucker Carlson thing is a good honeypot. Like, I don't know if you also heard what Mark Levin was saying. Did you hear what Mark Levin was talking about?
Mark Levin, I've heard him beefing with Nick Fuentes, but I didn't hear what he said about Tucker.
No, dude, he's talking about the system going out to anybody he's talking about it like anti-Semitic and hatred. But if you read between the lines, it's just going back to the narrative again. They're using Tucker to draw in anybody who doesn't agree with the narrative, and then they're gonna try to do something that way. It looks like it.
Oh, I see. It could be the case, because I'm looking at Tucker and Candace, the way that they and all these affiliated woke right types. Well, they march on they're all marching to the same drum. They're all like controlled opposition, but they're a faction within the Republicans, and I have no reason to think that they're separate. Like they're all like basically faking their street cred. They're pretending to be one of us. But like, I wouldn't be shocked if Candace Owens was still being paid by Daily Wire, and if Tucker Carlson is still being paid by Fox, but that they're just in a different department where they pretend not to be working for them. And their objective could be, of course, like you said, to mischaracterize the people who don't go with the mainstream and then eventually set them up for destruction.
Yeah, because that's what they were on. That's what's crazy about the streamers. It's impacted into like the mainstream now, because they were trying to, I think with this like, I think what was his name, Hassan. The Israeli press was like even talking about him, and that was just like was trippy, because they were trying to use anybody that talks to him, and they were pushing that whole terrorist narrative too. And it's just weird because it's like they were trying, because I could see like the little operation forming there, like, oh, he talked to this person, so thus he's this. He talked to that person, so thus he's this. And they were getting like politicians involved in it. And now with the whole Tucker Carlson and how he was already first on the attacking 9/11 truthers, and now he's supposed to be the bulwark against it, that looks like the perfect setup to, you know what I mean, get him to say something to where it starts going after.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, because in revealed texts, Tucker made it clear that he's not really street level. He referred to MAGA people as terrorists, and he said they're not like the Muslim terrorists. He said that these are I don't even want to say what he said. He said the cousin effing kind. So he said some very disparaging things about MAGA. So he's not down with the people. He's not one of them. And they see the conspiracy theorists as being like basically a lower class thing, low brow.
Well, the conspiracy theorists are the truthers. The conspiracy, there's no conspiracy theory. It's just a conspiracy. I mean, conspiracy is a legal term in law. I mean, you can get convicted on conspiracy of multiple things.
Well, I would say though that the conspiracy theories that are popular are all fake. They're part of a meta conspiracy to be controlled up. But the only real conspiracy that I feel like is worth pointing out is the conspiracy that is successfully ongoing, which is keeping all mankind in a singular worldview, following along with a pre-scripted history. To me, that's the big one. It's Orwellian, and very few people can see it.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, because with the Christian nationalism, they're trying to make us follow this one thing when that whole form of religion has many different types of interpretations. But you're right, and I just wanted to let people know about that Tucker Carlson thing. Don't forget about what he said about the 9/11.
Yeah.
And since we're this show is basically built itself, we should not forget about that.
Never forget. I'll play that clip, Jay. That's a good one. Let me see if.
Yeah.
Actually, let's see if that'll play on here. I guess the audio doesn't work on this. Let's see if that. Can't hear that off the Google Chrome has errors, so I'll play it in my other browser here, so you can look at that here, and we'll link to this here, and we'll play that.
Well, fakeologist, I gotta get going though.
Yeah, take care. Thanks for calling in, Jay.
And y'all have a good night. Thank you.
You're a good man.
You have a good night. Thank you. Take care.
So let's play this. See if this comes
thing in the news and have people talking about it forever.
This
And
is Jeff Berwick
I should
who
remind you,
grabbed the clip
Tucker
for
Carlson
me.
has said and continues to say that he will never, ever talk about what really happened at 9/11. No conspiracy theories. He will never talk about it. He refuses.
If there's any evidence that the government was behind 9/11, I believe anything if there's evidence, but there isn't any. So knock it off. That's my view.
Ridiculous. So for family members of the victims that are asking questions and want the evidence that's been withheld by the government released, you would say that they're less than adults somehow for wanting that
I would say that parasites like you make it much worse for them. That's what I would say.
Yeah, the most obvious inside job of all time.
There you go. So there's Jeff Berwick talking about Tucker Carlson. So he's just another gatekeeper, I guess.
I guess he's a parasite now. He went from gatekeeper to parasite.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an old clip, but yeah, I guess they keep the people entertained that like Tucker and Candace, and they're part of the attention economy. They get people's attention because they speak the loudest, the most controversial, but I guess it doesn't help.
They are the bread and circus clowns.
They are the bread and circus clowns. That's absolutely right. All right, we're getting up to an hour. Let's go look at your site real quick and just remind people that they can support you on ips.monster. And look at all the books you've got here. Wow.
The main one is the Handbook for the Recently Deprogrammed. That is really a consolidation of all of our best ideas, a new iteration, put into a single 300-page, I think it's 311 pages, released on 9/12. But
it says it's sold out on your page here, but you can get it on Amazon.
You can get it on Amazon. My store is temporarily closed until I'm a little more situated somewhere, but it's on Amazon and it's selling consistently. So thanks everyone who's picked it up, because what I wanted to do, the objective was, we have certain stances here, certain perspectives, but there's reasons why we have arrived at those. And this book is for those who have already recognized the duopoly of mainstream alternative and realize that there's no platform if you're not mainstream or alternative centric. And how do you know if you're a mainstreamer? Well, if your opinions mirror those of Wikipedia, your perspective is mainstream. If your opinions add on to that, you're probably just alternative. But if your opinions subtract from Wiki and say this isn't even true, never even happened, it's simulated, then you might be off world stage. But the default is world stage and then some subset. And so this book is about those whose point of view doesn't fit mainstream or alternative. And there is no platform for it. That's what we're doing here. The IPS think tank is specifically geared towards platforming a perspective, a point of view that doesn't originate within the mainstream paradigm.
All right. And everyone can go to Amazon and get that. I guess that's a book printed on demand. Is that how that works with Amazon?
Yes, you get it within like 24 hours or something, 48 hours. It's pretty quick. And my plan here is, whenever I get the funds for it, my plan is to do a sort of a limited book tour. I'm going to go to bookstores, read chapters to a general audience and people I invite.
Wow.
And I'll live stream it. And the objective is to make each one of these discussions about a specific event and describe this third perspective on it. I've got a whiteboard. I've been working on a series to help make this clear. But yes, I have a promotional tour sort of planned. I'm going to start it here. There's a couple of cities where I have places to stay. But yes, that book is going to be my primary focus in the coming months.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, well, that's good. And what's the cost on that?
Right now, the book is only in paperback, and so it's like $15. But when I'm probably going to release it in other formats later. But the reason I wanted this in paperback is it's got to be EMP proof. It's got to be impossible to block by anybody. It has to have a physical presence because everything is so digital. Everything is in the metaverse. I want it to have something tangible. And so that's the whole point of it.
All right. Well, that was a great show tonight. Thank you, Tim. You always bring it. Very interesting. Great callers as well. And
yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, we'll do it every week. It seems to be working. Everyone likes to convene. We got quite a few people, maybe 100 to 200 people listening and watching tonight. So that's fantastic on both, mostly on your platform. And that's fantastic as well. Really enjoyable stuff with the Kentucky plane crash. It seems like ancient history now. I guess we just have to wait for the next one. And you also have a GoFundMe if people want to help you raise money for your office. Is your Patreon still going?
I have a new Patreon. It's linked there.
It's
John
another
LeBon's a member.
So it's another Patreon. Oh, okay. So the old one is no good.
Yeah, but I opened a new one and I'm using it like I use Substack, so it's there, and I intend to promote it more in the future.
So is that the best place? Oh, you take Bitcoin as well. Wow.
At your suggestion.
Okay. Well, I'll send you something. I'll send you
again. Look forward to next week.
I'll send you some Bitcoin. There you go, right there. Tim Ozman's Bitcoin. Have you got any Bitcoin so far?
Not since I put it up, but I just put that up a couple days ago.
Wow, you snuck it in. Okay, so Tim Ozman takes Bitcoin, so no excuse now. Okay, I'll shoot you some. I'll shoot you something, and we'll see if it works. And you have to let the recipient know that it's your Bitcoin because there's no name or anything. So just give the transaction ID to Tim, and he'll figure out who it is. I guess if you want to get credit, that's how it works, as far as I know. What's your email address for everybody if they want to give you a heads up on that?
infiniteplainsociety@gmail.com.
Okay, that's easy. infiniteplainsociety@gmail.com. All right, everyone. Thank you, Tim Ozman. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
All right. Look forward to it. See ya.
All right. Take care, everybody. And don't forget, fakeologist.com/donate. We take Bitcoin too. So if you want to help out this think tank, please contribute. Thanks for all the caller-inners. Good show. And we'll be back tomorrow with Lynn. Take care.